What's going on, guys? Got a chance to play around with the now famous or infamous Rep-Pepin dumbbells at Home Gym Con 2024. I thought I would give you guys my thoughts and impressions about using this one-of-a-kind prototype. This dumbbell you're seeing in this picture is the same dumbbell they are using in all their promotional materials. So I thought it was pretty cool. Thought I might as well share the comments with you guys. I did actually go ahead and did the pre-order purchase somewhat reluctantly. I'll get into that a little bit here. So I'll link my affiliate code down below if you guys are curious, want to support me in the channel and or check it out. I actually used someone else's affiliate code for this purchase. You're welcome, Jonathan. Forgot to tell you that. But very cool dumbbell. If you don't know what they are, these are somewhat making the rounds as being essentially dubbed the best dumbbell ever produced, even though they haven't been released yet. I shouldn't say that. The original one is released, but this thing's over $2,000+ made in Canada. Great quality in the sense that it is a quick change adjustable dumbbell, so it's not something that takes a lot of time to do. I think most of you guys already know this. It's very compact and goes up to a lot of weight and adjusts very easily up to 120 pounds. Now, what Rep has done is they have collaborated with that company, Pepin, to give you guys a lower price point. Some argue it's actually made some improvements upon that existing model. It is actually a little bit tighter. I kind of like this more black look. Granted, again, this is just the prototype. Some things might change a little bit once they are shipped out in September. You can see this is a prototype image. The one I'm using is the same one, I assume, because I was told there's only one of these made. Just a little more scuffed up from this picture. I assume they probably took these shots right away when they got them. But has this black finish, and it goes up to 125 versus the original goes up to 120. So pretty cool, I'd say the least. And this, I'll get into why I wanted to pull the trigger, because I was really hesitant, to be honest, because even at Home Gym Con, I would say this definitely was the thing that stood out the most and everything I saw for me personally, because I like smaller footprint things. I don't have room, nor do I have, it's honestly hard, even if I do a review, guys, to even give big stuff away. People don't even really want it. And 9 times out of 10, in fact, all the time, all the stuff I've gotten, if I get rid of it, I just simply give it away. So stuff like this, that's small, I know I can cover. I think you guys more or less interested in appeals to more bigger demographics. So that's why I feel like this is something I kind of have to cover and talk about. And if you actually look at what it looks like in the design, this is essentially, again, the prototype, and all the images, media images you're seeing, you can drop test them, or they've already been extensively drop tested, lifetime warranty, quick change with this little magnetic button. I'll talk about that, how that felt. I'll say right away, you definitely get PowerBlock vibes from this. And the great thing is also at that cradle, you can buy in smaller increments and then further expand over time if you guys want to, as they say, kind of grow with the dumbbell. They say it's going to have volcano knurling, but I think that might change. I don't know if that's really set in stone, although I'm not sure about that. Just to set the stage for Home Gym Con, here's the dumbbell set right there. This is the escalator coming down into the entry into the convention. There's Rep's new adjustable dumbbells that came out that honestly I didn't even pick up, didn't even try, because these things just kind of dwarf them literally and just aesthetically and functionally, that I didn't even really care about looking at those. No offense to Rep Fitness, but they're just sitting here in this little wooden box. I said this in my initial Home Gym Con kind of overview, very brief overview, time I was there, is that I thought this thing would have a bigger kind of display on them, something to kind of like just show them off. But I think people probably knew enough about them that probably wasn't even necessary, because a lot of people were just gravitating right towards these. They knew exactly what they were, but they were just simply sitting there. When I first got there, this was the very first thing I went to, did a bunch of laps through this. This guy was really cool, by the way. This cameraman was really cool. I got some shots of me doing some stuff here when I first came in. I haven't seen those though, but I was doing some like 30 to 20 pounds, just presses, curls, lateral raises, getting a feel for it, but I didn't take any footage of myself of that. And then up close, you can see they look pretty much dead on, other than the minor scuffing from those prototype images. You can see the images of the numbers of the dumbbell are really nice and clear. This says 120, so there's going to go up to like 125. I'm not sure if that's another increment plate or not, exactly how that's organized. This little area here, I'll just kind of focus on this for a second. When I did try it out, this was something I noticed right away. It does dig into your knuckles, but I was told, and it makes sense, being a prototype, that this is going to be shaved off a little bit. That won't happen. But otherwise, looks aesthetically, great, really compact. It has this kind of tight weight feel, where if you think of like the best dumbbells to me in the gym are always those ones that had tight plating, not the big kind of just molded weight that's just on there. Some of the best dumbbells I ever tried. I think if you ever go to Quads Gym, Chicago, best gym in the world in my opinion, they got like 3 different sets of dumbbells. They get dumbbells that go up to I think at least 200 pounds. Not that anyone's really using that. They have some pro bodybuilders in there, but definitely that kind of old school, smaller plating, that tighter fit plate. I love the way those feel. And then I just had this couple. They were right next to me. They were really nice. I said, hey, can you just kind of do some quick change stuff with this while I'm just kind of showing off some shots of the video. They were really cool to kind of humor me on that. Coming out of the cradle, it feels really good in your hand. I would say right away, I'll get into this as I talk about the general feel when I did some exercises. They feel very PowerBlock-esque, even though I wouldn't say they're as comparable as PowerBlocks. I have a pair of PowerBlocks, made a video earlier on the channel saying I really didn't use them as much because I just didn't like the way PowerBlocks kind of really felt for things like lateral raises, even bicep curls when you're kind of turning your wrist. This has that, and it's kind of similar in the sense you have this railing, but I would say it's different, and this really does feel like it's a connected unit. And this railing is actually functional. You can hold on to the sides and still do things with it. So that's also kind of a cool thing. But in general, I would say it felt a lot like a power block. Now, this is the only shot of me actually doing some repetitions here, and I'll talk about this a little bit. But this is like the third or fourth time I did a loop around. I was about ready to leave the conference here when I was talking to this couple, and they were telling me about how Cupid Garage Gym pressed this thing, the 120s. So I'm like, well, I got to try this now because I'll regret if I didn't just try the max load in here. And this is kind of what sold it to me, honestly. And I jumped into this cold, didn't do any warm-up sets or anything. Like I said, I was about ready to leave. Trusted myself enough, even though I haven't pressed with dumbbells over 80 pounds because my snows go up to 80 pounds. I actually love those dumbbells. Those feel great in your hand. And I'll kind of get to that in the end about overall feeling and personal preference. But a little nervous as I was stacking this to see, if I could do it. You can see that mechanism there, that rail just kind of slides in. That's how you seal things in place. Watch when I pull it out. You'll see it has that, because of the quick change and those little the bars go through, you're going to have a little bit of that give that you have on these adjustable dumbbells where there's that little area right there where you can see that weight start to shift. Not a big deal. Everything felt very tight, but especially as you get more into these heavier weights and adjustable dumbbells, you're going to see more of that. Felt very much like a basic big dumbbell you would have in a gym. Once I go ahead and set up on this, as it's kind of sitting here on my legs, it felt very comfortable. There's a little notch here. It didn't really bother me at all whatsoever. It felt no different than just having a big, heavy pair of dumbbells in your hands. This first rep, I was a little iffy because, like I said, I haven't done this in a long time, and this was going in cold. I don't go super low if it gets heavy, especially with dumbbells. I just feel like that weight starts to transfer necessarily to my shoulders, and I feel it less in my chest. So 90 degrees for me, works out fine. But I was surprised once I got the groove back, how good this really felt. And as soon as I racked this weight, this is when I knew in the back of my head that I knew I was going to have to go ahead and make this purchase and pre-order because I got those old vibes that I had when I was a kid. When you go to a gym, you're assessing the gym by the quality of the dumbbells, how high do the dumbbells go. And that isn't going to apply to everybody. But the fact that I could still do some chest presses and get some decent repetitions out of the 120s. And these are going to be 125s. Heavy rows or something else I used to do a lot of. I used to do a lot of clean and overhead single arm presses. I could do that a lot with heavy weights. So that was really the big thing that I felt like when these come out, I felt like I was going to be missing out on something that I knew I was going to take advantage of it. Now, with that being said, not everyone's going to need that much weight, especially people that I talk to. Most people say 50 and even 80 would suffice for vast amounts of people. They're not going to need this much weight. So I totally get that. You can get 85 pounds, which is still pretty decent price, especially when you're considering the quality of these dumbbells. What I would say though is a little bit of a factor is that aesthetic factor of how does it feel? And that's, I'd say, Iron Masters, I've tried those there. Of course, I've tried PowerBlocks. I can say that not all adjustable dumbbells feel the best, and if you guys have adjustable dumbbells, you know what I mean. That's where I personally do love the Snows. I don't know what I'm going to do with them because that's going to be hard to get rid of because my Snow adjustable dumbbells just feel so good in my hand. They really do just feel like basic dumbbells. Some of these adjustable dumbbells, they like to kind of pull a different direction. So when you're doing things like curls and presses, they feel a little off-centered. And also, more importantly, just how they feel in your hand. And that can be some personal preference in just your own dimension of your hand, how far the weights are spaced apart, how, literally how thick the weights are. All those things play little factors into how they actually feel. And I can tell you with these felt actually really great. It gives off the allure of a power block, but I wouldn't say it feels like a power block at all. I love the weight that it's so compact, and the fact is that once you do pull up even that heavy weight, you didn't feel that lag of the extended weights kind of stretching, with those other rails kind of branching out. All that to be said, guys, I think it is hard to deny that this is a great dumbbell, especially if you're looking for something that has heavy weights. This was one of those, I hate to say no-brainer purchases because I already have a great pair of adjustable dumbbells that I already love, but I just knew this was going to be something that I was going to regret. So don't want to go too long with this, guys. Any thoughts on this? Do you think these are worth it? Are you looking forward to them? Did you actually do the pre-order? If you have any questions that I didn't cover in that kind of brief rundown, let me know. Happy to answer them. But I'll see you guys on the next video.